Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to grecochess, the YouTube channel of chess. I'm your host. My name is Harilos Eniziris, and in this video, we continue facing the chess.com bots. Having survived, having gone through all the beginner and intermediate bots, we are now facing the advanced. There are 20 of them. We have survived. We have advanced through 14 out of them. And now it's time for bot number 15, Olga from the Ukraine. If you see the previous video, we defeated Olga with the white pieces, but after 4 attempts, 3 losses, and finally we won. And let's see what is going to happen now that I'm having the black pieces and Olga has the white pieces. But let's first share the screen with you. Here we are. You see all the advanced bots. Olga is the one here in this little square. The last of the 1900 rated bots. Let's see what can we do. Things are not easy at all. The previous series, when I had the white pieces, I had very good positions in the first 3 games, but Olga was able to come back and defeat me, and I needed a fourth attempt where finally I was able to defeat Olga. Olga starts saying something like, "Hello, ignore my first moves, okay?" Well, I hope you play not good first move to give me advantage, but let's see what is going to happen. I might not know my openings, but I've been studying my tactics. Well, that's not a great opening move. Knight to a3. Okay, let me put pawns in the center. Pawn to e5. Pawn to d5. This is called the sodium attack. And just to tell you why I think it's called the sodium is because the knight goes to A3 and Na is the chemical element for sodium. Like if you put your knight to H3, it's called the ammonia attack, the NH3. Just to explain the name of the opening, which does not really exist. I think it's a joke. Now, let's put more power in the center. My knight of 6. You have to defend this pawn. How? First, my knight to c6, and if you pin my knight, not yet. Let me stop your pawn, because if my knight has to move, I lose a pawn. Are you pinning my other knight? What should I do? Let me pose a dilemma to you. What are you up to? Okay, good. No, the pawn on here is unprotected, but fortunately it was not under attack, not until now at least. Let's put the bishop here to protect my pawn, and also if my pawn moves for any reason, your queen is under attack. Your queen is under attack, but has a lot of squares to go. I'm not sure if it's worthwhile to do it. Let's send my bishop to d6, more protection to my e5 pawn. Okay, you're blocking my pawn, cannot go to e4 to... No, my pawn, excuse me, on d5 cannot go to d4 to open the diagonal, but I'm going to attack now your knight. Your knight has to go back to b1 or d1 or d2, yes. If I push my pawn, you take it, I'm checking it. If I push my pawn and you take it, let's see what's going to happen. I push it, not like that, like that. And Olga takes it. My queen goes here, check. And your only reply, your only legal move is to put your pawn here. And then my bishop comes here, takes the check. And if you take it, I win your rook. What if you don't take my pawn? Well, you have to move your knight. Your knight is in danger. And then I'm going to take the f2 pawn. And I think it's not made, but you'll be in a very tough position. Let's see. Will you take it or not? You took it. Queen goes to h4 check. I think you must place. Are you really going to checkmate me? If you allow me, yes. I don't think it's checkmate, yes, but I'll have a huge advantage. And this is mate. Let's double check. I think this is mate in one. If queen goes to g3 check, where can the king? First of all, nobody can come to f2. Nobody can take the queen. King cannot go anywhere here, 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 or here. And of course, here it is a queen. So I'm going to checkmate. Wonderful. While with white pieces, I needed 4 attempts to defeat Olga with the black pieces the first time, and one of my fastest victories, only 14 moves. And the coach says, amazing winning the game with a brilliant move. And Olga says, nice team. I need to study up. Want to play again? Olga, I played with you until now 5 times. You have 3 wins. I have 2 wins. So you should be proud that you did better than me overall. But I eliminated Olga. But let's since this went so fast, we have enough time for the game review. We'll go in detail through that. And the basic lesson for all of us, me and the viewers, is please be very careful with the opening. Don't seat the center because Olga came in the center, starting with a wonderful sodium attack. Wonderful, of course, is ironic, placing the knight on a3 instead of c3. And let's see, what does the computer say? Things that my accuracy was 86.8, not perfect, but quite good. Olga's was 50.2, barely above the average. I played as if I am at least, not a national master, at least a FIDE master, 2250. Olga played 1300, well below her 1900 nominal rating. And I had one brilliant move, one great move. I think I know which is the brilliant. When I sacrificed my bishop, perhaps, but this was too obvious. Let's see. Best 6 versus 2 for me, 5 mistakes for Olga, 1 miss each of us, and no blunders. And let's go move by move. What did I miss? Other than 1 miss, I was perfect. But because of so few moves, just this 1 miss would decrease my accuracy from 100% to 86.8. That is about. And what are the book moves? No, let's look the entire thing. Yes. One brilliant, one great for me. 6 versus 2 best for me. Two excellent each of us. 2 versus 1 good for Olga. Inaccuracies, I had 5 mistakes for Olga, 1 miss for each of us, and no blunders. Although I think that the way Olga played her entire game was a blunder, but let's give a look. Of course, a mistake. Let's look here better the scores. You see, I already get 0.62 just with the opening move of Olga. The better move was to develop a knight and attack the center. Clearly, I knight f3, but if you want to move your knight on b1, at least placed on c3, not on a3. Now let's see how things continue. My pawn to e5, of course, the best move. You move, puts the pawn in the center. You see the comments from the coach come here. Not the bad, but not the best. Again, let me explain. The computer thinks the best is place the knight on c6, but if you place your knight on c6, you block your c pawn. Why not have 2 pawns in the center and still leave open the option to push the c pawn? That's why instead of the knight to c6, I played my pawn to d5. c3, now you play the best, a little bit too late. My knight f6, again the best, knight f3. Okay, computer wants Olga to start fianchetting the bishop on the light colors. My knight to c6, computer wants it to be on d7, but on d7, I'm blocking both my queen and my c8 bishop. That's why I prefer to send it to c6. And before, one move before, it was the best move. Now it's just a good move on the computer. Yes, you don't like these things because now look at the knight on a3. It has no pawn protection. Yes, it's not attacked. Yes, supported by the bishop, but you want your pieces to be, if possible, protected by pawns, not by higher value pieces. Computer wants me to start attacking immediately. What would happen if I do it? Isolated pawns. So I go here. Olga takes. I take. Don't know what is the isolated pawn. In fact, I'm going to no. Olga is going to have the hanging pawns B and C, but I don't see isolated pawns. Okay. Bishop to G5 miss. Why miss? Computer wants knight to go to C2. Of course, better C2 than A3. Bishop at least pins my knight. I attack it. Let's see after the first 5 moves, what is the score? I'm leading by 0.89. Still, it's not that significant. It is nice to have it, but it does not yet decide the game. Okay, here. Now, Of course, um, how did this mess up? Um, we have my queen is at the center, a nice square, and clearly you see the rook is on a1. Of course, it's protected by the queen. There are 2 pawns blocking it, but nice position for my queen. And Olga does not have a dark color bishop to attack my queen. The knights could attack it too far away. The bishop cannot, rook and queens not developed yet. So my queen is relatively safe on f6. Queen to b3. Again, computer wants the knight to go to c2. Not a good place in a3. It wants me to start attacking, but I want to create issues with my bishop and the queen being on the same diagonal. If the pawn did not exist on d5, if I can push to d4, I'm attacking the queen. Of course, queen has many squares to go, but Olga will waste a move protecting the queen instead of doing something else. Rook to d1. Bishop to d6. Computer doesn't like it in accuracy, but you'll see later that this was the crucial move to win the game. Pawn to d4, not a bad idea, stops my d4 pawn onto d4, but computer wants Olga to place the knight on c2. And clearly that is a good thing to do. In c2, it controls, it exerts pressure on the d4 square. It's not on the rim, on the edge, as I say, a knight on the rim is green and ready for the trim. Pawn to e4, yes. Now I have a pawn on Olga's half the board, the best move, exerting pressure on squares d3 and f3 that are near the king. King is still in the middle. Of course, mine is still in the middle, but all it needs is one move to castle. Olga's will need at least 3 moves to castle. 1, 2, who knows where can it go? Maybe here, nowhere else, and only the castle. So although both kings are in the center, mine is safer than Olga's. Plus, my piece, I have much more space than Olga. And what is the score? After 10 moves, I'm ahead by 2.78. This starts becoming important, especially if Olga does not understand the danger. Knight to d2. Computer would rather have it go to g1. Imagine if the best move for the computer is knight to the starting square, and then Olga will need 4 moves to castle, not 3 any longer. That's what happens. Well, now, still, we're talking about 3 moves castle. If I can give Olga 3 moves, this would be easy with knight to d2, but with knight to g1, let's replay it. If knight goes to g1, Olga needs 1. No, let's do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4 moves to castle. And of course, if Olga does that, yes, he can castle, but then I can exchange my bishop with the knight, and Olga's king on g1 will be not safe at all. That's why I think that Olga played better placing the knight on d2 instead of g1. And now, my pawn to e3. You may remember that I had done the calculations. If Olga plays something indifferent, I win at least a knight. If Olga takes my pawn, I'm near mate. I didn't calculate all the way, but I knew at least I would win material. What else can Olga do? Place the knights in any square like f3 or b1, the only safe square, but then I take the pawn, king takes it back, and king is very, very exposed. But Olga messed up. You see, mate in 3. Knight should go to f3. And so from being ahead by 339, now it is m3. This means mate in 3 moves. And I think I saw it. Queen goes to h4. This is a great move. Now it's mate in 2 moves. Pawn to g3, only option. Brilliance is a computer, but it's too obvious to be considered brilliant. And you may remember, although it was obvious, I was doing the calculations again and again until I was sure about the win. That's why I don't understand why it is considered to be brilliant. Brilliant should be a move that comes out completely out of the blue. And especially if it has a very long-term advantage, not immediate. Of course, the only option, and now it is made. So the moment I saw M3, I finished in 14 moves. And let's see what's going to happen now with the bots. Next one is line. Now we are facing the 2000 bots, starting with Lee from Taiwan. And I'm going to have the white pieces. That's going to happen in the next video, assuming we don't have anything else coming in the way. Ni hao, don't be mad when I win, okay? Ni hao, in case you don't know it, is the Chinese hello. Ni means you, hao means well, meaning wishing you to be well. This is the Chinese greeting for hello. And of course, it is written with the pinyin characters, meaning the Latin ones, not the original Chinese. Ni hao, really see you Ming Tian tomorrow. For now, Li Chai Chien, meaning goodbye. And let's give a look now at the tournaments are playing. Not that playing, I'm playing in many of them, and there's no time for all of them, but let's look at the most important ones. First of all, the one I'm organizing and I have been eliminated, the grecochess 64. And let's give a look at, first of all, in the first round, out of the 192 games, we completed 166, 26 games to go. Let's see what's going to happen. In most groups, we know who advanced. Guy Jordan from Internationalist Group 1. Doesn't want to denote the country. Group 4 is F94 Alex from Britain. Group 5 is Lelio 69 from Italy. Group 6 is Roberto 3515 from Brazil. Group 8, Mr. Haji from Azerbaijan. That's a group where I participated. Group 11, Petla 68, I think from Hungary. Yes. Group 12, we have two people equalizing. Boss is done by me from Italy and at Daniel 97 from the United States. Group 14, Hazel Hurst from the United States. Group 15, Calogero 81 from Italy and Cici Liliu Hobing from China. And Group 16, Gilan from Israel. So we're going to have at least 18 people advancing. Let's see if the others have not finished. Group 2, it depends on the two games between the two people ahead. Group 3, unless Amarilita can win both games, then Sisu 64 has advanced. Group 7, it's still too early to say. Only the last one from India, Aditya, the chess champion, is out. Group 9, Mormulek from where? I think it's from Russia. He's ahead, but still many games to go. Group 10, Lelio 1956, many games to go. It's ahead. Group 13, it's down to the last two games to see who advances. And that's it. What else to give a look at? Uh, the underwater moonlights, nothing as far as I can tell. We still have the final round. 6 players are going to give a total of 30 games. One has already been completed, and we showed in the previous video. As games complete, we're going to show them in the videos. But for now, that's all we have for this relatively short video. We defeated Olga from the Ukraine as if she was a beginner. Lesson for all of us. Well, it's not that important, at least at my level, to know by heart the first 20 moves like the champions are doing, but at least the first two moves, make sure we control the center and develop the pieces correctly. The knights belong to C and F files, or at least D and E, definitely not in A and H files. Don't take the queen early. But that's all for now. And by the way, one of my ideas is to start having some short videos that have the 3 minute puzzle rush. Tried yesterday, messed up, and it ended up, although the video was less than 3 minutes, it ended up in the regular videos. But what else do we have ahead? Okay, in a few days, in fact, tomorrow, it is Friday, round number 4 in the Queen's Chess Club at Kopieki Memorial. Let's see if we can really win a game and not be ahead and mess up in the end like we have done with a lot of previous games. May is 1 year anniversary of our club. If you're interested in joining me to celebrate, please send me a message. Thanks to all the subscribers, the viewers, the comments, and the likes. This is grecochess. I'm your host, Harry Losenesiris. To all of you, goodbye.